Coming up on this week's Falcon Fever, the basketball teams wrapped up the regular season with senior night. See what's next for the Falcons.
And we show you how the women's tennis team made its mark in school history. Plus,
men's golf faced many Division I teams in the Sanford tournament. Find out how the Falcons held up on the links. Falcon Fever starts now. Hey everyone, welcome into this week's show. I'm Michael Artris.
And I'm Savannah Kidd. Thanks for watching Falcon Fever, your home for all Montevallo sports.
We want to start with some developing news from the men's soccer team.
We've received word that men's soccer head coach Ken Hassler has left the program and will no longer coach the Falcons.
athletic officials held meetings with the team last Friday to talk about Coach Hassler's departure from Montevallo. Hassler was named head coach in July 2010 and guided the team to the PBC championship game for the last 2 years.
So far, there's no word on who will replace Coach Hassler. We'll keep you updated as more information becomes available. Moving on to other sports news, both basketball teams wrapped up their regular seasons on Saturday.
Basketball correspondent Dan Cook joins us at the desk now to recap the senior night action. How's it going, Dan?
All right, how you doing, guys?
Doing well.
Both flocks of Falcons are soaring into the Peach Belt Conference Tournament after wins on Senior Day at Trustmark Arena. The women kicked off the festivities with a 60-58 win over Young Harris in overtime. Taylor Beverly got off to a slow start and only hit 5 out of her 20 shots taken on the night. She finished with 13 points and 12 rebounds. Senior Zena Nazalowski left her mark on the court with 13 points and 13 boards of her own. But it was the freshman, Jacquelyn Thompson, who saved the day in overtime. With 8.5 seconds left on the clock, the ball was inbounded and worked to the right corner of the court where Thompson received the pass and launched a three-pointer at the buzzer. The bucket gave the Falcons the 2-point win and clinched the #2 seed in the Western Division heading into the tournament. Coach Hilbrick says she's proud that the team did not give up.
You know, they just never quit, and I'm really just so proud of them. You know, Zena played the whole second half and the overtime. I know she's exhausted. I think Trina played most of that too. I'm just so proud of this team right now.
The win for the women's team had the home crowd hyped and ready for more. The men did not disappoint. With a win, the men would become the Western Division champions of the conference. Montevallo lost their previous meeting with Young Harris 92-84. In that game, the Falcons had 3 players foul out and they committed 24 turnovers. But on senior night, the men steamrolled over the opposition en route to a 92-70 victory. The men out-rebounded the Mountain Lions 56-26 with Marvin Fitzgerald leading the way. He finished the night with 20 points and 23 boards. Drico Hightower added 18 points and 6 rebounds. But with all the great play that took place during the game, it was 2 demoralizing dunks near the end by Silas Mills that had the crowd jumping out of their seats. And if that wasn't enough, Jared Schroeder added a 3-pointer from the corner to cap the 22-point victory.
Now, Dan, some people may not be familiar with senior night. Can you sum that up, the festivities that went on that night for people that may not be familiar?
Yeah, sure. You know, they had the ladies, of course, first gather in the center court, and they received plaques with their own photos on it, you know, in action on the court. They received some flowers and got their photo taken, you know, to commemorate the night. And the men had some of that happen as well. You know, the families took pictures with them, but at the end of the men's game, because they locked up that #1 seed, they were able to get up on the ladder and cut down the nets to commemorate winning the #1 seed in the Western Division.
No, I thought it was cool and kind of ironic at the same time that freshman Jacquelyn Thompson was the one that kind of saved it for senior night.
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
The women. I thought that was pretty cool. Now, with the postseason coming up, what's the seeding looking like for both men and women?
Well, yeah, the women are actually going to be ranked, or the seed is #2. Okay, so they're going to be playing tomorrow. The men will play on Friday. They're the #1 seed in the West. They'll be playing the #4 team in the East. So from there, the semifinals for both men and women are on Saturday, and then the finals are on Sunday.
Okay, and from my understanding, a few of us Mass Comm majors will be going over there and filming the game, or at least taking part in that. Who else going over there?
Well, myself, Devin, and Drew. You know, so you know the 3 Ds, I guess. I guess they just went down the roster there and said, you know what, there's 3 guys in the same letter, let's just send those guys. But yeah, we're going to be covering a lot of things from the action on the court to even some of the preparations before and celebrations after.
Well, that's something to look forward to then. All right. The women's team, will face off against the Flagler College Saints at 2 p.m. The men will tip off at 6 p.m. versus the Augusta State Jaguars, as Dan just told us. Both games will take place in Columbus, Georgia.
Well, now it's time to highlight our Falcon Fever Play of the Week.
Falcon Fever correspondent Jacquelyn Hanna joins us at the desk to introduce this week's standout athlete. How's it going, Jacquelyn?
Pretty good, guys. What about you?
Good.
This week, our player of the week is Jacquelyn Thompson from the women's basketball team. A freshman here at UM, Jacquelyn is a biochemistry major. In last Saturday's game against Young Harris, Jacquelyn hit the winning 3-point shot with just 0.9 seconds left in the clock. When I caught up with her yesterday, she told me about that shot, plus her first year here at the university. Why did you choose to come to UM?
I came here because I heard the academic program was really good, and Coach Hilbert recruited me, and when I came down and visited the team, they were really nice, and I liked the way they worked hard.
Now, what has your freshman year been like so far?
My freshman year has been probably everything that I could probably never imagine in high school. Like, it's been fun, stressful still, tiring, but I've still gotten, like, an amazing experience here. So
last Saturday when you made the 3-point game-winning play,
I was really excited. I just wanted to win it for the seniors because there's 4 seniors on our team that are about to leave, and they've never had like a championship or a banner or anything, and that win put us in a good spot to get that for them. So I was just excited for the seniors.
Now that the team's made the playoffs, what are your expectations for the postseason?
I think that we're going to do really well because we got a good seed in the tournament, so we should get a good win and a good win on Saturday, and then hopefully get a chance at winning the whole thing and going to regionals this year.
What kind of influence has Coach Hilbert had on you as a basketball player?
She's made me realize the little things that I didn't pay attention to before and made me work harder and take every day just as a blessing because there's a lot of people that don't have this opportunity. So she's made me be appreciative of what I have today.
Thank you, Jacquelyn Thompson, our Falcon Fever featured player of the week. Good luck to Jacquelyn and her teammates as they face off against Flagler tomorrow in the PBC Tournament quarterfinals. If you would like to suggest an athlete for Falcon Fever Player of the Week, contact us through the Facebook or Twitter pages.
Thanks, Jacquelyn. It may be hard to believe, but it's been 10 years since men's basketball head coach Danny Young took over the program.
Falcon Fever producer Jordan Simeon had the opportunity to chat with Coach and ask him how his own experiences in the sport have helped him to lead his team.
For 10 years now, Saturday afternoons in the winter have transformed Trustmark Arena from this to this. Men's basketball head coach Danny Young is in his 10th year of leading the Falcons. He's just the 6th head coach in the program's 45-year history.
Well, it's just, you know, in the times of many people coming and going, as the coaching carousel goes every year, it's been a great honor to be able to stay on and be at one place so long.
The Gulf South Conference East Division Coach of the Decade, Coach Young's teams are perennial postseason players, making conference playoffs and the NCAA Division II tournament 7 of the last 8 years. Athletic Director Jim Herlihy said that in 10 years, Coach has transformed the culture of the university.
But maybe more importantly than the wins and losses that he has had on his record during his time at Montevallo, he's done a tremendous job in improving the grade point averages and the graduation rates of men's basketball players at the University of Montevallo. And I think the fact that he's been able to show people that you can excel both academically and athletically has been one of his lasting marks.
A former athletic director himself, Coach Young attributes his success to the teachings of his former coach, NBA All-Star Paul Westphal, and his love for the game.
I think I'm one of the fortunate people that, you know, get to come to a job they love to do every day. Not everybody gets to do that, I don't think, but you know, I love basketball. I like being around the guys. I like trying to help them. You know, it's big for me to get to do something I enjoy every day, and that's the driving force behind it.
Excellent. Reporting from the Student Activity Center, Jordan Simeon, Falcon Fever.
Let's switch gears now to the tennis courts. The women's tennis team picked up its first win over a nationally ranked team in school history. The Falcons defeated number 18 Georgia College 5-4 in a PBC match on March 2nd. Montevallo won 4 of 6 single matches and 1 of 3 double matches. Nikki Polsarova, improved to 7-0 in singles matches this season. Aeneas Robert clinched to the match for the Falcons with a 6-4, 6-2 win in the number 4 singles match. Montevallo then fell to PBC opponent Augusta State 5-4 on March 3rd. The Falcons won 2 singles matches and 2 doubles matches. Polsarova remains undefeated at 8-0 in singles matches. The match scheduled for March 5th at UAH was canceled so far, so there's no word about when it will be rescheduled. The Falcons will face PBC opponent Georgia Southwestern on March 9th at 2 p.m. at home. The women's tennis team will then travel to Tuskegee, go up against the Golden Tigers on March 12th at 1 p.m. and return home to March 13th to face PBC opponent Columbus State at 1 p.m.
The UM baseball team took to the diamond over the weekend. The Falcons took to the road to take on Miles College in a non-conference game at historic Rickwood Field. The Falcons squeaked by with a 10-7 comeback victory. Montevallo sophomore Zach Willerby homered twice in a game for the first time in his career, February 28th, to lead the Falcons to the win. The Falcons finished with a season-high 10 runs on 19 hits, including 4 homers in the victory. Freshman Aaron McCree picked up his second win in 2 days after giving up just 2 hits with 2 strikeouts in 1 2/3 innings in relief. The baseball team then traveled to Young Harris to play in a 3-game series. The men defeated Young Harris College 8-3 in the opening game on March 3rd. Senior Michael Shreves allowed just 2 earned runs on 3 hits with 3 strikeouts and 4 walks in 8 innings on the mound. Senior Andrew Hill led the Falcons offensively as he finished 4 for 5 at the plate. Hill drove in 1 run and scored 2 runs in the victory. Montevallo then fell to Young Harris 3-2 in the second game in the series. Hill and Brady led the Falcons as each finished 2 for 5 at the plate. Junior starter Josh Clemon took the loss after allowing 3 earned runs on 7 hits with 4 strikeouts and 2 walks in 6 innings on the mound. The Falcons defeated the Mountain Lions 9-7 in the final game of the 3-game series. Senior Andrew Hill led Montevallo once again as he finished 3 for 4 at the plate with the homer. Hill drove in 4 runs and scored 1 run in the victory. Junior starter Edward Bransima picked up the win on the mound after giving up just 2 earned runs on 7 hits with 4 strikeouts and 2 walks in 6 innings of action. As of showtime, the men were playing Stillman College. We'll have the recap of that game on next week's Falcon Fever, or you can get the updates on our Facebook page. Now, the men stay at home and will host Maryville University on March 7th and then host Flagler College in a 3-game series on March 9th through the 10th. The men's golf team hit the links since we last met.
Ranked 16th in Division II men's golf, the Falcons are hoping for a great season. Montevallo played in the Samford University Intercollegiate Tournament on March 4th through 5th. The tournament, held at Hoover County Country Club, featured many Division I schools. Though competing against many larger schools, Montevallo held their own throughout the tournament, placing 6th overall, higher than all other Division II schools, as well as beating 11 D1 colleges. The Falcons finished the tournament shooting 29 over par, led by freshman Dalton Skinner. Skinner shot .216 for par over the tournament, tying for 5th overall in the individual standings, while junior Connor Godsey shot 2 over par to tie for 9th place overall.
Now, the Falcons will look to continue to build on their success in the upcoming Panther Invitational in Palm Bay, Florida on March 18th and 19th, as well as in Greenwood, South Carolina at the Bearcat Golf Classic on March 25th through the 26th. This brings us to our Falcon Fever Fan of the Week.
This week's fan is Susie Fedewa. Susie is the grandmother of UM baseball player Vinny Rodriguez, and she's a big fan of UM baseball.
Susie also took the pictures of Montevallo's game against Miles College that we used earlier in the show. Thanks, Susie, for all your support.
Remember, you can get more Falcon Fever on YouTube and through social media.
You can watch current and past episodes of Falcon Fever on the MassCom YouTube channel. Just search for Montevallo for you.
And be sure to add us as a friend on Facebook. There you'll find links to sports stories throughout the week and live updates from the games. You can also leave a comment, talk about recent games, or give a shout out to your favorite UM athlete.
You can also follow us on Twitter. Just search for UM Falcon Fever. And if you do, leave us a comment on Facebook or Twitter, and we might feature it on next week's show.
And last but not least, you can get extended UM sports coverage on MontevalloFalcons.com. There you can also find team rosters, live stats, pictures, and more. Well, that's all the time we have for this week's show.
Be sure to tune in again next time. In the meantime, be sure to check out our Facebook and Twitter pages, as we just said, to keep up to date with what's going on in sports. We'll see you then.